My name is Clover, and today we're going to be redesigning two of my characters. Now, if you were on my Instagram somewhere around 2023 to 2024, probably 2023 now I'm thinking about it, you probably saw two characters, one named Clover Rose and one named William Blackwell. And those are the characters that we're going to be redesigning today. So, without further ado, let's get into our first character. The character that we'll be redesigning first is Clover Rose, the Heavenly One. Now, for her design, there wasn't really much that I wanted to do. Just change her on her outfit and give her a war outfit. An outfit that she'll use when she's fighting. And for her cuff of light, I wanted it to look more special. Like, I didn't want it to look like just an average golden cuff. So I decided that I would change it around. Now, the inspiration for her regular outfit is, just casual, like a casual fit that you would see in, Florida. But, a little different. And for her war outfit, I wanted to look tough, but also, like scrappy. Like she had to put it together from different things in her closet and different things that she had on hand because, she isn't an average warrior. So, without further ado, let's get into what really went on behind the scenes. Now, as you can see, I started off with a very motivated start because, I was just, on a roll here, and I really was just having fun with it and struggling a lot. Now, it isn't really shown here because the app that I use doesn't really tend to show all that, but, I was struggling quite a bit in the process. So, you're gonna see a lot of bits where, there's little pauses and stuff. However, coming up, you will see a part where there's just one big pause, and that was because I was trying to figure out what to do, like what to say on the actual character bio. But what about the character herself? Well, she's a very kind, compassionate, uh, you know, creative person, and she was chosen by the Cuff of Light, or rather, the angel inside of the Cuff of Light, in order to save the world and, kick some dark force butt while she's at it. And she's overall a character that starts off very, very shy. She's very, very, she isn't the type to announce anything or to make any sort of grand speeches. She's not that kind of person, you know what I mean? And so, she tends to, keep to herself. She tends to just, you know, go along with the crowd, so to speak. And she just tends to not stick up for herself very much. And so when the Cuff of Light chooses her, she's kind of just like, wait, what? Huh? What's going on here? Help me! And so, obviously, her journey is eventually, she'll, make a name for herself and, actually become the warrior that she is supposed to be. And so, as the story goes on and as she encounters the second character more and more, who she absolutely despises, she slowly gets to be more and more confident in herself, despite the other character's attempts at making her less confident in herself. So, overall, her arc is mostly about just her showing the other person in this, this video wrong. Because the other character, who lord is he who lord, I don't even know where to start with him right now. Because, good lord. But anyway, she is definitely going to be one of those characters that, you know, has a very stereotypical, like, villain hero dynamic with the other character. Um, and, you know, the other character, again, is just going to completely underestimate her. And again, at first, she's going to believe it, and then she's gonna, kick the other person's behind, which is 100% deserved at that point. Um, but overall, well, I will say that designing her was a very quick and simple process because, she is a character from the modern world, and she is a character that you could probably see just like walking across the street one of these days and, not bat an eye towards. But then eventually you will bat an eye towards her because, she is the heavenly one. Now, but again, very kind, very compassionate, very sweet, very, you know, understated character, but when push comes to shove, she really does prove why she was chosen as the Heavenly One. And there we go. We've got more text coming up on screen and, the background appearing. And, you know, now who is this other character that I keep mentioning? Who is this guy that is so, who is this guy that is so bad that Clover has to come and beat his behind? Well, everyone, please prepare yourselves for the most problematic man on this earth, William Blackwell. Oh my god, seriously, this guy is going to get canceled on Twitter in like 5 minutes. But let's not focus on his character right now because, oh lord, is he an ugly character. For right now, let's focus on his design, which I will say his first design was very lacking in the sauce. So, what I decided to do was add more sauce to him, more historical sauce to him. Now, he died somewhere around the 1630s, so why is he wearing like a 1700s looking outfit? That doesn't make sense. I also decided to change a lot of things around and just overall make things look more historically accurate. I also wanted him to look stronger, more intimidating, more physically imposing. So that way the threat of, his character would be, very obvious to the viewer. Now, here's the problem. The outfits from the 1630s, or at least the ones that I saw, were very poofy. Like, how am I supposed to make a poofy outfit look, intimidating, look, scary? However, I eventually was just like, wait, I can work with this. And so I decided that in certain places I would rip and tear, a little bit off the side and all that. I also decided that, you know, he would have, lots of reds, lots of golds, lots of things that you would associate with, royalty, and a lot of colors that you would associate with blood, especially. Now, considering that he is indeed from the 1600s and, all that, he does have very, outdated beliefs. And of course, like, again, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that he was old. Like, he's an old guy. He is an old guy who deserves to have been put in the grave in the first place. Now, the redesign process for William Blackwell was a lot more spurty, I should call it. Like, my motivation kind of fired off in spurts, if you know what I mean. So if things seem a little bit like jarring, I apologize for that. It was just that my motivation for redesigning him was very spurty. But once I got things going, I like really went. You'll see by the end of this. Now, let me go into his character because oh my goodness, he is just terrible. Like, he's the type of person that would get canceled on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on literally every single social media account. Like, he would get banned on every single one. And he would always be like, oh wait, oh, why was I banned? I'm only saying the truth. I'm only saying truth. When, like, we know damn well he's not. But, anyway, he is a character that is very much, like, for himself, by himself. The only thing that he's allied with is himself. He does not give a damn about anyone else. He doesn't give, like, he had a wife back in the day, like back in the 1600s, and he absolutely was not, you know, a fan of her. He was just kind of keeping her around for like status and stuff like that. Like he definitely did not love his wife, and he was very abusive towards his wife and all that. And towards his old army men, he would only tolerate them. And to the people that gave him like the dark power that allows him to be able to be resurrected in the first place, because yes, he is a dead guy from the 1600s. I mean, why else would he be here if he wasn't able to be resurrected by some means? And on that note, he, like, the thing that brought him back was his connection to this cult called the Scarlet Hand cult. And let's just say that he, or, rather they worshipped, death. They worshipped, like, they thought of hell as, like, a reward. Like, you know what heaven is to Christians? That's what hell is to Scarlet Hand. And, they saw him, in his battles in the 1600s and went, damn, he's really ruthless and he's really, he's a terrible person. We love it. And so they basically, was just like, hey, you're the Dark Vessel, this Messiah, and, you're meant to be this, you're meant to lead us. And he saw an opportunity and he was just like, oh yes, I am the, oh yes, I am the Dark Vessel and all that stuff. Yes, of course. And so he took the dark amulet that, was promised to him, and he went along his day. And cheated in more battles, and eventually he got poisoned by his wife, who was tired of him. And he, once he got resurrected, he saw Clover and was just like, this is the Heavenly One? Excuse me? This is a joke. And, he challenged her to a fight, and she lost. And, throughout the story, he keeps on underestimating her because, she a woman. But, eventually this, young woman who he perceives as blind, eventually gets the upper hand on him because why he gets, why he loses? Because of his underestimating of her. And so, he eventually gets what's coming to him in the most karmic way possible, which I will definitely not be spoiling here. But, if I eventually make a story about this one day. And we're done. That's right, we're done. Clover's looking great in both her regular outfit and her war outfit. You know, in her war outfit, she's looking like she's ready to fight, and in her regular outfit, she's looking nice. And William Blackwell, he's looking scary. He's looking like he probably would want to kill me right now. And he's looking like he's gonna have some fun with it too. Oh, that's just great. Alright. So, what did you think? Do you have any other suggestions that you would like me to draw, or any other characters that you would like me to touch on next? Write them in the comments below. Oh, and by the way, I do have a book out right now. It's called Clover versus Mother of All Monsters. Now, this is a different Clover, and if I do redesign this Clover again, I will make sure that I make her different and probably change her name. But I do have a book that's out right now, link in bio. Ooh, that's the most important bit. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials, you know, my YouTube, which is the video that you're watching this on right now, and my Instagram, which is where this idea originally came from. Have a great day. Bye.